I remember playing Ravenous Devils back in 2022. It falls into the genre of games I really enjoy, and I tend to be quite fond of really morbid subjects. So when I saw the Kindeman Remedy, I thought it was made by the same people as the Ravenous Devils. And honestly, I did not look into it any further before buying the game to play it. It happened to be on discount when I got it, and I'm kinda glad it was. As honestly, the game fails completely when it comes to the gameplay. So, you all know I like tedium games where I have to do the same actions over and over again. I like Papers, Please, I like the Ravenous Devils, I like Death and Taxes. I am no stranger to making a routine and following it as the gameplay becomes more hectic and hectic as you go through the game. I find that enjoyable as I try to figure out how to best optimize the situation I find myself in. But the Kindeman Remedy looks like it's gonna do that, but they don't quite. Instead of slowly introducing the new features, the game you get from the start is pretty much what it's gonna be at the end. If you play through the tutorial, it is gonna introduce some of the features a little bit slower, but otherwise, you are just kinda thrown in there and said, go have at it. And at first it's kind of fun, but over time it gets just really tedious. So you control two characters in the game, the doctor and the nun, and the gameplay is split into day and nighttime sequences. During the day you're trying to give the various inmates their medication, while also killing some of them. This means you have to produce the medication with the doctor, ship it upstairs to the nun, where the nun can either make the pills deadly or not, and then she handles administering them to the inmates. So let's start by talking about the doctor. The doctor can make several types of medication, if you choose to unlock the several types of medication. Meaning if you unlock it early, you just got more complexity early on. But as far as I played into the game, it never pushed me to go get more complex medication or other drugs. It didn't feel like the game was naturally upping the challenge, it was just me basically choosing to do so. So either way, as the doctor you are manning making medication, no matter if you have one version or three versions. After opening up the surgery room, the doctor needs to perform surgery from time to time, and every other day you can inject the mysterious remedy into the man going to the electric chair tomorrow. And then when we look at the nun, she is fetching the medication from the elevator, either making it deadly or not, making sure the pills are put in the right place, making sure patients needing IV drip get their IV drip, and that's about it. At first it felt kinda hectic, but about 5 to 6 days in, I had kinda gotten up a really nice routine, making the daytime stuff just quite easy, especially as I've gotten few upgrades, and by that point it was more just deciding how many people I wanted to die that night, based on how many people I would be able to process down in the morgue. And that's when we go to the nighttime. Nighttime is when you deal with the bodies and do research. The nun also has a role during this, but that is only making more poison or stocking medication if you decide to produce more and send it up with the lift. Else she's just kinda there. During the night, the doctor has access to the morgue and the secret room. In the morgue you take your victims from the day and you drain some sort of a mysterious remedy fluid from them. This is what you're injecting into the people who are going to the electric chair to make them look like they're dead, but they aren't quite dead. If you have actually injected somebody during this day, then you also need to call your guy within the prison to tell him to lower the voltage of the electric chair, so tomorrow you can have a live victim. Now the main goal down here is to manage the bodies and get yourself some research. You get minor research from the dead bodies and you can get major research from the live victims. It seems that the goal is to get 100 minor ones and 20 major ones. I did not even get close before I gave up. But to get the major ones, you have to go to the secret room. This is where your live victim is placed. And you have access to a torture table, or you can upgrade it if you wanna torture them in more interesting ways, I guess. Honestly, I found the torture sequences to just be kinda much. It just felt pointless. It added like this tiny minigame onto the killing and that was it. And after doing it like 2 times, I was kinda wishing I could just skip it. Then instead of burning the live victim, you throw them off a cliff into a ravine. I don't know why. It feels weird because you have the morgue right next to your secret room, so you could just walk them there and burn all the evidence. But that is what the game has chosen to do. I am guessing it matters to the story at some point down the line. Now, the issue with the story is that it just didn't grab me at all. Every cutscene felt kinda confusing. I had people telling me they wanted named people to be either killed or saved, but all of the inmates are just named inmate. And the first time I actually saw this guy I was supposed to save was like probably good 7 days after the prison guard told me about him. And that was not for execution, but to meet the guy down in the surgery room. So I figured he would be the next one for execution, but he wasn't, and that's kind of just where I gave up. I had another guy demanding a new heart for his daughter. I don't know how to do that. Some guy, Mr. Black, threatened me on the first night, and then nothing has happened with that ever since. And then I got Percy, the limbless man in my secret room, which just babbles nonsense. And I keep sometimes giving him the remedy, but after giving him it 3 times, he just keeps on repeating the same dialogue. So I have no idea what I'm supposed to do with him. The game is honestly just a mess. They looked at Ravenous Devils, saw a dark and kinda funny game focused on a morbid subject, and they decided to expand on it, and they just made it worse. Not to mention just way too long. I finished Ravenous Devils in 5 hours. I gave up on the Kindeman Remedy around the 5-hour mark because I just got so bored I could not force myself to keep on playing the game. Because looking at the only indication about how far I'm into the game, which is how far my remedy has gone, I am like less than halfway there and I just can't do this. There is just no way I could force myself to keep playing a game that is this boring. So can I recommend it? No. This game feels like a waste of time. It has the look, it has the concept, it's boring as hell. It's like a chore. And I'm pretty sure I will never actually finish the game, because I doubt I will ever be picking it up again. But that's of course my opinion, so what about you? Have you tried this one? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Let's talk about it in the comments. And while you're down there, make sure to do the like and subscribe stuff. But in the end, all I wanna say is tack för att horva och the yndislega dag.